Now we will guide you through the setup process for your service. The service will become visible to the public only after you move it from a draft to active using this button. This will be possible only after you complete all the mandatory steps in the setup process. Service title. This is the name of your service on the marketplace. Ensure it is concise, but includes important details about the service, such as web design for beginners. Multi-language support. Our website operates in multiple languages to help attract more customers, as search engines will more likely direct users to your service. However, this means some of the description will need to be translated. If you are unable or unwilling to do the translation, simply enter the information in one language and use the auto-translate feature. Be sure to review the translation before proceeding. Service period. This defines how long your service will be published on the platform and the expiration of agreements for recurring customers. Business unit. This refers to the physical location where the service is provided. Category, subcategory, and type. Classify your service. If our categories are lacking, let us know. If your service requires a license, the system will notify you to provide it. Until then, the service cannot go active. Service environment. Again, to make your customers easier to find a suitable format of the service, please indicate where your service is provided: in person, offline, outdoors, or mixed. Now indicate a service format that best describes the format of your services. This again is mostly for the Mily platform to correctly categorize your services, improve search results, and will help to better describe your services for search engines. If you feel that we don't have a suitable format for your case, leave it blank and suggest us an alternative. Now let's move to next step: target audience. Again, this section is very important for the search purposes. This will allow us to better place your services in the search results, and also customers to find what is more suitable to them. Indicate the age group for which the service is intended. Next, select the languages in which your service will be provided. If you are providing services only to pupils, please indicate the grade levels that your service is indented to. If you provide services in a particular educational institution, please indicate it. This will help customers from this institution to find your services easier and may add an additional control on who can subscribe. If you wish to limit your audience to only those children that have a particular educational institution indicated, you can use this option. It has 3 settings. No. Pupils of other educational institutions will also be able to subscribe. Yes. Only children that have this particular educational institution in their profile selected will be able to subscribe. Yes. Only verified pupils. Only children that have this particular educational institution in their profile selected and their profile synchronized with educational data provider, school system, or municipality will be able to subscribe. The last option is mostly to be used for catering services. Next, configure organizational settings. Each service requires at least one service provider. Any user in your organization who will manage the service or event. Assigning a user as a service provider allows them to view and manage the service in their profile. You cannot remove a provider already assigned to an event. Replacements must be made first. In the Contact Information section, you can add non-Mily platform employees who should receive service notifications. The Service Description section allows you to describe your service and upload photos. Use the AI tool to generate a draft by clicking Generate and providing hints. You can regenerate or edit manually as needed. Finish with the Auto Translate option. In Related Documents section, you may add some optional document that better describes your service. And now the hardest part: Rules and Pricing section, which will define how your service will behave, what will be the price, and how you will organize work with your customers. Depending on the type of your subscription business, there are infinite ways on how you can utilize Mily system. Recurring subscription model is intended mostly for use cases where you want your subscriber to be auto-enrolled on each planned event or class, so that subscriber will participate by default unless submitted an attendance cancellation in line with the cancellation policy. This works well for regular classes, trainings, where participant is expected to show up in each class and attend long-term. Prepaid booking model is intended for use cases where you expect subscribers to book their spot each time before the event, and thus subscriber is not obliged to participate regularly. You can also mix these two methods. This can significantly increase the complexity of your service, and you may need our advice if you are unsure. Typically, this method can be well used for cases where you run regular classes, where you mostly intend to work with regular subscribers. However, you also can reserve some slots for pay-per-visit subscribers who would like to try out your service before becoming a recurring subscriber. So, some of your subscribers will be regular comers, while the others will be just booking their attendance from time to time. Any changes to these subscription models within an active service will not affect the existing subscription agreements until they run out, but will affect the existing choice for new subscribers. The attendance registration method determines how your subscribers will be included in calendar events and how your QR code scanning app will be used to control subscriber flow and payment. There are two ways that attendance registration can work. The first method is automatic enrollment. This method ensures that all of your subscribers, both permanent and pre-booked, are automatically included in the calendar at the start of the event, unless the customer has canceled their attendance in accordance with the cancellation policy. In this case, you can still use the app's QR scanner to verify participants and verify that the participant has a subscription before or during the event, but payment will not be directly affected by this method. The second method is QR code scanning. If you choose this method, your subscribers will be enrolled into events, and their e-wallets will only be charged if you register them using the QR code scanner. Attendees with reservations will not be affected by this option, as if an attendant with a reservation does not show up. The subscription pass limit will not be renewed. If you use this method, event attendees will need a QR code, or you can select an attendee from a list in the QR app. This option works well if you want to strictly control the flow of attendees and charge only those who actually show up to the event. If the event is offline, you can still use the QR app, where you can mark attendance from the subscriber list. Now, set up how many recurring subscribers are you planning to have. If you set a minimum here, then once you launch your service, instead of active status, it will enter group assembly status, which will be visible to subscribers. Subscribers now can subscribe, but the service will not become active. Thus, calendar events will not initiate before number of recurring subscribers reaches the minimum threshold that you indicated. This is a very useful feature if you wish to have some minimum number of subscribers before actually starting the group classes. However, you may also manually put the service to active at any time before it reaches the minimum number of recurring subscribers. The maximum number of recurring subscribers will control how many recurring subscribers can be in your service. When this threshold is reached, Mily platform will stop offering recurring subscription type, which means that your events will also have maximum number of recurring subscriber seats. And finally, you can define the maximum number of prepaid visit attendees per event. However, if you have marked both subscription models, recurring and prepaid booking, then typically you must allocate guaranteed slots for recurring subscribers, and you can also reserve some seats in each event for pay-per-visit subscribers. For example, this makes sense if you have a group class where majority of class is recurring subscribers, but you wish to keep a few slots for attendees who just want to join and try out before switching to a recurring subscription. Maximum number of events per month is a field that limits the number of events that can be added in a particular month. This number will be included in the contract with the client, and once it's reached, no more events can be added until the contract is updated. Recurring subscription price, tariff. If you plan, provide services using recurring subscription where payment is done after event attendance takes place, you must indicate a tariff for it. Usually, you will just have one tariff that you must name and set price for. Multiple tariffs are used if some of your events have different price. For example, this sometimes is used in catering, where breakfast and lunch is provided in the same service, and lunch is being more expensive. If you decide to change the price of tariff later, then that will be possible, but the price of tariff will enter in force in 30 days. While the recurring subscribers that have effective agreements for a period longer than 30 days will be immediately notified, an amendment to their agreements will be generated. Tariff price changes will not affect any customers that have subscription passes purchased for certain number of uses. Subscription passes are settlement instrument that your subscribers will be able to use to settle for visits, both in the case of bookings and for recurring subscriptions. It should be noted that bookings can only be made using subscription passes. Therefore, if you plan to provide services based on a booking model, you must specify at least one subscription pass that customers will need to purchase in advance to make bookings. If you have not yet created a subscription pass, you can press the Manage Subscription Passes button, which will take you to the Management view, where you can create new subscription passes. Just create one or more, and then set them up in the service. The cancellation policy is a very important setting that will control how much time in advance and how many times during the calendar month your subscribers are allowed to make a cancellation of attendance. If the subscriber will reach this limit and you set automatic enrollment into your events, the customer will not be able to do a cancellation. Thus, they will be automatically enrolled and charged. In case you will be using subscription passes in your service, you may specify it in a particular subscription pass, whether it is eligible for cancellation policy. First, set how many hours before the event or before what specific time a subscriber can cancel attendance. Secondly, set how many cancellations per month subscribers are allowed to make within this service. If you will agree on additional cancellations for a particular subscriber, you can always do it manually within a planned event. The count is based on calendar events, so it will reset each month. Debt management policy. In this section, you are able to allow to form outstanding payments, or in other words, debt. This will only work for recurring subscription model and only without the subscription passes, which must be purchased in advance. This allows to still provide services even if the Mily wallet of your customer on Mily platform does not have enough funds to pay for attendance. This can be beneficial in many cases, when parents forget to top up the account or to renew subscription pass, but the child arrives to event. This will not affect the subscription pass purchases, as those will not be purchased with a debt. However, if the customer has a recurring subscription and not enough funds to repurchase the subscription pass, the platform will attempt to charge for a single attendance based on your defined tariff, and if the debt option is on, a service will still be provided without actual immediate payment. Once the Mily wallet will be topped up, the debt transaction will be settled. Resume suspended subscription if debt is cleared. If the subscription of your subscriber was automatically suspended because they reached the debt threshold, it is possible to set automatic renewal of subscription in case the subscriber will settle the debt. The subscription will renew if there will be enough recurring subscriber capacity. Unsubscribe if debt goes over. You can set a threshold of the amount of accumulated debt at which platform will automatically suspends the subscription of a customer. The agreement will still be active, and you will be able to renew subscription if the debt is settled and there are still enough capacity for the renewed subscriber. There could be a situation when one customer's subscription is canceled due to the debt, and in the meantime, another, new customer will subscribe and take first customer's spot. Maximum debt to allow starting a subscription. If you can tolerate some debt that a customer owes you and still allow to form a new subscriptions, you may use this setting to control how much debt you will tolerate. For example, if a customer has €10 debt and your limit is set to €5, they will not be able to form a new subscription before debt is decreased under €5. Prepaid booking deadline. This field will determine how many hours before the start time of the event the booking option is available. If it is set to 0, then booking can be performed until the time of cancellation deadline. If cancellation deadline is not set, until the start time of the event. Advance booking limit. This field will set the limit for possible event booking time horizon available for prepaid bookings. This allows you to control how far do you wish to organize the calendar of your bookings. Now let's move to next step. Terms of service. You must attach an agreement template that will be used when a recurring customer subscribes. Your customers will have to sign a distance agreement with the respective text of your choice. Please bear in mind that we as a platform bear no legal responsibility of the agreement text that you will be using irrespectively of whether you use our provided template example or your own text. Here you may click View All Agreements and head to the Agreement Management section, where you can overlook the available templates and create new ones. If you have set your service to have prepaid booking subscriptions, you must attach an agreement template that will be used when a prepaid booking reservation is made. Your customers will have to sign a distance agreement with the respective text of your choice. This way, each booking will be based on a separate distance agreement. You may set the agreement term that will be applied to a recurring subscription. The term can be set in days as of subscription date, or it can have a specific end date. So when subscriber will enter into subscription, the agreement term will be starting the date of subscription and ending the specific date that you have provided. If you leave it blank, the term of agreement will be set as the final date of your service. Agreement termination term. If your subscriber decides to terminate the recurring subscription, this field, Agreement Termination Term, defines how many days the agreement will still be in force before it will terminate. VAT rate will be indicated in relation to your prices and payments that customers have performed. We will not account, deduct, or do any reporting on your VAT taxes. In case you will issue invoices for customers that have debt, the applied VAT rate will be indicated in invoices as well. Invoice payment term. In case you will use our functionality to issue invoices for customers that have debt, system will apply automatic payment term that is expected from customer. When all the required fields are filled, click the Save button and set the service to active status. Congratulations! Your first service has been successfully added. Let's move to the Services section. Now that you have added services, you can easily duplicate them by clicking the corresponding button. This will create an exact copy of the service, but without subscribers, responsible persons, and scheduled events. You can adjust the settings, add events, and launch the service in parallel by changing its status from draft to active. Don't forget to switch the service toggle to published so all users can find it on the platform and online. We have one more important functionality here that will help you to manage situations when you decide to change some important settings that will directly impact your subscribers. When subscribers enter into distance agreements with you, the printed agreement will include such special terms as tariffs, cancellation policy, debt management policy, agreement termination term, and others. To avoid situations when you change some terms by mistake, and also allow your customers some time to review the changes and terminate agreements. If they do not agree, we have a change process. When you change some of the critical terms, you will see such modal windows informing you about specific change that you have performed. All those changes are being saved into a changelog entry in the table below. When you have concluded all necessary changes, you may execute the change by setting a specific date that cannot be earlier than 30 days. All of the customers that are affected by this change will immediately receive amended agreements with stated old and new terms, and so they will have time to review and accept by doing nothing or terminate agreement if they do not agree. This way, you will not have to communicate and manage each separate customer about agreement changes.